it. Okay, now you should be able to hear me. Everyone out there in Splurt's world tuning into this broadcast, if you want to confirm in the chat that you can hear me, that'd be helpful. Okay, awesome. Wonderful. Well, before we get started, out of character, let me just say that everyone here at Blaseball Radio 2, unironically and truthfully, this is just me as a human being speaking, stands in solidarity with everyone protesting against the attempted murder of Jacob Blake, everyone protesting for Black lives, and everyone out there trying to fight for racial equality and racial justice. In that respect, in particular, I think the commissioner is doing a great job. But for real, if you're going out there, if you're protesting, thank you for your work. Please stay safe, and we're with you. Okay, I'm going to switch over into Blaseball Radio Announcer now, so it might be a little jarring, but all right. Hello and welcome to Day 67 of Internet League Blaseball Season 4, The Discipline Era continues. My name is Blaseball Radio 2 host, and you're listening to Blaseball Radio 2, an unofficial radio telecast of Internet League Blaseball. You can follow all the latest unofficial Blaseball Radio news on Twitter at Blaseball_radio. A reminder that this is an unofficial telecast of Internet League Blaseball, and as such, all recording and piracy of this telecast is strictly allowed. I'm contractually obligated to tell you I am not being paid by the Blaseball Commissioner, who is doing a great job, or by any of these great Blaseball teams. In fact, I'm not being paid by anyone, although I am contractually obligated to not tell you that. So, whoops. This season of Internet League Blaseball, of course, is brought to you by Friends at the Table. Friends at the Table is an actual play podcast that focuses on critical world building, smart characterization, and fun interactions between good friends. You can find Friends at the Table on Twitter at friends_table. On today's broadcast, we're going to be bringing you the first in a series of games between the Kansas City Breathmints and the Charleston Shoe Thieves. Here in Day 67 of Internet League Blaseball, it's the first home game for the Kansas City Breathmints in a while. After many, many days in the wilderness that had some serious ups and downs, including the loss of beloved Breathmints hitter Eduardo Ingram. Ingram was replaced, of course, by Lenny Spruce. You can see here in the lineup, a two-star hitter. And in the wake of Ingram's loss, the Mints went on a bit of a losing streak. They've managed to turn that around here in consecutive series against the Lovers, taking a number of upset wins, and now they're going to look to continue to build on that momentum with this series against the Charleston Shoe Thieves. Let's see if this doesn't break my streaming setup by clicking over into standings. It doesn't look like it did. I just have to scroll down a little bit here. Taking a look at the standings here in the Lawful Good division, you can see that the Breathmints here are solidly in second place of Lawful Good with a 4-win advantage over the Dallas Stakes. You can't see it on the screen, but down a little further, you can see that the Charleston Shoe Thieves, with a record of 33-33, are tied with the Stakes as the closest competitors with the Breathmints for postseason Blaseball. Still a good amount of the season left to play, about a third, a little less than a third. But it is a tight race for now, and we'll see if the Breathmints can build on that gap as they look to clinch their first postseason Blaseball since the start of Internet League Blaseball. Of course, in Season 3, the Mints started strong, but were hit with a series of peanut allergies that really decimated the batting lineup. After getting a number of blessings in the election that kind of strengthened some of those gaps, the Mints went on a subsequent losing streak after losing Eduardo Ingram and kind of a midseason slump, but they've put together some wins now and are going to look to build on that here with this series against the Shoe Thieves, who of course have played plenty of postseason Blaseball themselves, but have had kind of a middling season. And we are underway here now. Top of the first inning, Oscar Vaughn on the mound, the Breathmints pitching ace, against Hotbox Sato leading off for the Charleston Shoe Thieves. A strike right down the middle brings the count to 0-1, and another one brings the count to 0-2. A ruthless pitcher is Oscar Vaughn, and we're seeing it here at the start. And there's a strikeout, notch one. Oscar Vaughn starting off with a statement here against the Charleston Shoe Thieves. Ren Hunter now looking to get a runner on base here for the Charleston Shoe Thieves, but hits a foul ball out into the stands, and the count is 0-1. Hunter hits a ground out to Hewitt Best to the Kansas City Breath Mints. Top-tier defense here coming into play. And the Charleston Shoe Thieves are looking at 2 outs, but Velasquez Alstott hits a single, and the Shoe Thieves have a runner on base. Antonio Wallace up now for the Shoe Thieves to try to get that runner home, start a lead here. But hits a ground out to Hewitt Best, another ground out to Hewitt Best, and the Mints take to the plate here in the bottom of the first. The game is tied at 0-0 in the bottom of the first. No outs here. Hewitt Best leading off for the Kansas City Breath Mints. Gunther O'Brien on the mound for the Shoe Thieves. Throws a ball, and Best hits a single. The Mints have a runner on base now. Gunther O'Brien, of course, the replacement Penguin after one of the Shoe Thieves' beloved pitchers was incinerated in Season 3. Dickerson Morse hits a triple. Hewitt Best tags up and scores, and the Breath Mints here off to an early lead in the bottom of the first inning. Stu Briggs going to look to build on that, but hits a ground out to Stu Trollolol. And the Mints now facing 1 out, 1 runner in scoring position, and a 1-0 lead. Gray Alvarado up to bat for the Breath Mints. Started this season strong with a series of home runs. It's been a little quiet in the midseason, but we'll see what they can do here at bat. Of course, famously, a mime. The count is 2-1 after 2 balls and 1 strike, as Gray Alvarado tries to bring that runner home. The count is 2-2 after a foul ball into the stands. We have seen Mints players steal home base, so be looking out for that. But in the meantime, Gray Alvarado draws a walk. Rodriguez Internet Rodnet up to bat now for the Kansas City Breath Mints. 1 out and 1 ball here in the bottom of the first inning. The count is 1-0. Rodnet singling out to left field, and the runner on third scores. The Mints starting this game strong with a 2-0 lead, 2 runners on base, and 2 outs, after Elizabeth Guerra hits a flyout to Stu Trollolol. Lenny Spruce up to bat. Lenny Spruce, of course, the replacement player after Eddie Ingram was incinerated earlier this season, hits a ground out to Antonio Wallace, and we move into the top of the second inning, with the Mints leading the Charleston Shoe Thieves 2-0. Stu Trollolol leading off for the Shoe Thieves. Hits a ground out to Lenny Spruce, making up for that out at the end of the first inning. And the Shoe Thieves now facing 1 out. Sebastian Woodman up to bat with a count of 1-0. Woodman hits a solo home run, and the Shoe Thieves have a point on the board. Oscar Vaughn throwing a rare home run for him, but Joe Voorhees hits a fly out to Boyfriend Monreal, and the Shoe Thieves now facing 2 outs as the Mints try to limit the damage here in the top of the second inning. You'll forgive me, folks, I'm trying to figure out how to monitor the Twitch chat on my phone, and it is not intuitive. All right, here in the top of the second inning, Esme Ramsey up to bat for the Shoe Thieves. The count is 1-2. A foul ball keeps the count at 1-2. And a ball brings the count to 2-2. A rare 2 balls from Oscar Vaughn, but manages to play Esme Ramsey into hitting a ground out to Hewitt Best. And we move into the bottom of the second inning. The Kansas City Breath Mints up to bat. The Mints at home after a long stint away, drawing energy from the floating crystal that makes them come alive in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here we are in the bottom of the second inning, however, and Boyfriend Monreal has hit a ground out to Stu Trollolol. The Mints now looking at 1 out, holding on to a 2-1 lead over the Charleston Shoe Thieves. Marquez Clark hits a ground out to Joe Voorhees, and the Mints now looking at 2 outs. Hewitt Best up to bat. The Mints' best hitter in terms of stars, but not underlying stats, and hits a flyout to Blood Hamburger as if to prove that point, and we move into the top of the third inning. Folks, I have literally no idea how to watch my live broadcast on Twitch on my phone. I'm sure trying. Oh, there we go. Okay, all right, here we go. Top of the third inning. Blood Hamburger up to bat now for the Charleston Shoe Thieves. No outs, 2 strikes from Oscar Vaughn on the mound for the Mints. A ball brings that count to 1-2. Vaughn racking up some of the highest strikeout numbers in the league so far this season and last season. A very underrated pitcher. Blood Hamburger hits that ground out to Gray Alvarado, and the Charleston Shoe Thieves now looking at 1 out here in the top of the third. Hotbox Sato up to bat, going to try to build on that run scored in the last inning by the Shoe Thieves off that solo homer, but looking at a count of 0-2 after a strike and a foul ball. And Hotbox Sato strikes out looking. Some apologies here for delays in the game log. It seems that some of the feedback incidents, including the incidents with the multiple Los Angeles, have caused some planer interference, so sometimes the game log struggles, and that's why. Ren Hunter hitting another solo home run for the Charleston Shoe Thieves. The odds for this aren't great, especially up against such a ruthless pitcher, but they've done it. And the game is tied. Velasquez Alstott up now for the Charleston Shoe Thieves, facing a count of 1-0. Hits a flyout to Isabeth Guerra, and we move into the bottom of the third inning. 2 fluke solo homers, managing to tie up the game. The Mint's going to try to reestablish that lead through Dickerson Morse, who's had a run of very strong games and some very good vibes, and Morse responds with a solo homer. What is going on, folks? We've got a slugfest on our hands here in the bottom of the third inning between the Charleston Shoe Thieves and the Kansas City Breath Mints. Wow, establishing a 3-2 lead. Stu Briggs hits a ground out to Velasquez Alstott, and the Mints are facing 1 out with a 1-run lead in the bottom of the third. Gray Alvarado hits a triple. Folks, we are just aiming for the fences in this game, it seems. Rodriguez Internet up now for the Mints with Gray Alvarado in scoring position, but hits a ground out to Velasquez Alstott, and the Mints are looking at 2 outs, 1 runner on base here in the bottom of the third. Isabeth Guerra, one of the strongest hitters for the Mints in Season 3, going to try to bring Gray Alvarado home, but doesn't. Hits a ground out to Velasquez Alstott, and we move into the top of the fourth. Goodness gracious, what a highlight reel you could derive from today's game if there were any way of visually perceiving baseball, which of course we all know there isn't. Anyway, Antonio Wallace leading off for the Charleston Shoe Thieves in the top of the fourth, looking at a count of 1-1 off of Oscar Vaughn on the mound. Hits a ground out to Dickerson Morse, and the Thieves now have 1 out on the board. Stu Trololo up now for the Shoe Thieves to try to build on that other solo homer in the previous inning. Hits a foul ball out into the stands, and then a strike brings the count to 0-2 off of Oscar Vaughn. A ball brings the count to 1-2. Oscar Vaughn, who nearly started the season with an immaculate inning, throws a couple balls, but then manages to close out the strikeout. And the Charleston Shoe Thieves now looking at 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Sebastian Woodman batting for the Shoe Thieves. Hits a ground out to Dickerson Morse. And the Kansas City Breath Mints will now step up to the plate in the bottom of the fourth inning. We'll see if we can have any more big hits here in what's already been an extraordinary game. Lenny Spruce batting for the Breath Mints. Spruce, a 2-star rated hitter who also appears to be some kind of tree person. Facing a count of 0-2 after a strike and a foul ball. Trying to get on base here against Gunther O'Brien, the Charleston Shoe Thieves Penguin pitcher. The ball brings the count to 1-2. Lenny Spruce hits a solo home run. Folks, I don't know what's in the water in Kansas City, but boy does it make people hit baseballs good. The Breath Mints, now with a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the fourth, leading the Charleston Shoe Thieves 4-2. Boyfriend Montreal hits a ground out, though, and the Mints are now looking at 1 out on the board as Marquez Clark steps up to the plate for the Breath Mints. Whit is indeed with us, as the chat reminds us. Of course, Whit Steakknife, the other unfortunate incineration that we lost earlier in the season, mourned by all Kansas City Breath Mints fans and friends at the table, the sponsor of Season 4 of Internet League Baseball. You can find them at twitter.com/friends_table. Here in this game, however, we have a full count. Marquez Clark manages to draw the walk off of Gunther O'Brien through sheer intimidation and cricket batting stances. Hewitt Best now stepping up to the plate, going to try to make something happen to build on that solo homer earlier in the inning. Hits a fly out to Antonio Wallace. And the Mints now looking at 2 outs on the board. 1 runner on base. Dickerson Morse up to bat now for the Breath Mints. Already homered once this game. Let's see what they can do. Hits a 2-run home run. That's 2 home runs for Dickerson Morse in this game. They are on fire, just swinging for the fences. And the Mints are now leading 6-2 against the Charleston Shoe Thieves. Gunther O'Brien, one of the pitchers who's thrown the most home runs, and we're seeing that here in this game. Stu Briggs up to bat now. The count is 2-1, 2 outs, no runners on base, and the Breath Mints leading 6-2. Briggs hits a ground out to Esme Ramsey, and we move into the top of the 5th inning. Folks, this is not just a high-scoring game, but it is a high-slugging game. We have seen some just thunderous hits of the baseball, and we'll see if we see any more here in the top of the 5th inning, with Joe Voorhees up to bat for the Charleston Shoe Thieves. Oscar Vaughn throws a ball, and the count is 1-0. Voorhees hits a single, and the Charleston Shoe Thieves have a runner on base. I have a feeling this may be a high-scoring game, folks. We'll see what Esme Ramsey can do up here to bat. Hits a double. Runner scores. Runner in scoring position for the Shoe Thieves, and the score is 6-3. Blood Hamburger up to bat now for the Shoe Thieves. Pure offense this game. I don't know what is happening, but the count is 0-1 for Blood Hamburger. A ball brings the count to 1-1. A classic Oscar Vaughn strike brings the count to 1-2. And we'll see if the Mints can put an out on the board. They do. A strikeout from Oscar Vaughn. And the Charleston Shoe Thieves now looking at 1 out, 1 runner in scoring position, and a 3-run deficit in the top of the 6th. Hotbox Sato up to bat. Another brutal blazing strike from Oscar Vaughn brings the count to 0-1, and another one brings the count to 0-2. Folks, can he get a straight strikeout? Let's see. Yep, that's just a straight classic strikeout from Oscar Vaughn, as pure as you can get. And the Shoe Thieves now looking at 2 outs. 1 runner in scoring position. Ren Hunter already facing a count of 0-1 after another strike. Oscar Vaughn is just heating up here at home. Another one, as he draws energy from the Kansas City Breath Mints Floating Crystal. It's not even close to the bottom of the 8th inning, but the Mints have come alive, and this game is just roaring. Ren Hunter hits a 2-run home run with 2 outs, and the score is 6-5. Golly, I've never seen anything like this, folks. Of course, the Breath Mints and the Shoe Thieves do hold the record for the highest scoring game in baseball history. Velasquez Alstott hitting a solo home run to tie it up. And this is just unbelievable. Finally, Antonio Wallace hits a ground out to Isabeth Guerra, and we move into the bottom of the 5th inning. The Mints giving up a 4-run lead. We'll see if they can hit some more solo homers, 2-run homers, maybe a grand slam. I don't know that I've seen one from the Mints so far this season, and I sure would like to. Baseball Radio 2, of course, is your home for Kansas City Breath Mints baseball. Gray Alvarado up to bat now for the Kansas City Breath Mints, looking at a count of 1-2 after 2 strikes and 1 ball. Off of Gunther O'Brien. Even count now, 2-2 after another ball. Gunther O'Brien known to walk a fair amount of hitters, and we've got a full count now, so it could happen here. A foul ball keeps that count at 3-2 as Gray Alvarado tries to get on base, or a homer, who knows. Draws that walk, though, from Gunther O'Brien. And the Mints have a runner on base, no outs, and Rodriguez Internet up to bat now here in our tied game in the bottom of the 5th inning. A ball from Gunther O'Brien brings the count to 1-0. Rodnet reaches on a fielder's choice. Gray Alvarado out at second base. And the Mints now have an out on the board and a runner on first. Isabeth Guerra up for the Mints. A ball brings the count to 1-0. Rodnet on base. Isabeth Guerra hits the ground out to Sebastian Woodman. Rodnet advances to scoring position. And we've got Lenny Spruce up now for the Breath Mints, as they try to pull away from the Charleston Shoe Thieves, who managed to tie it up in a huge top of the 5th inning. But Spruce hits a ground out to Blood Hamburger, and we move into the top of the 6th inning here with a tie game. Oscar Vaughn apparently either throwing strikeouts or home runs, but nothing in between in this game. Stu Troll going to try to take advantage of that here in the top of the 6th. A strike, again, classic from Oscar Vaughn, and a foul ball brings the count to 0-2. Folks, I don't know that I've seen anything like this, and frankly, I'm at a loss for words. Not literally, obviously, because then I would be doing a bad job, but figuratively, as we see an out here. And Sebastian Woodman up to bat now for the Charleston Shoe Thieves, looking at 1 out, hits a ground out to Marquez Clark, and we've got 2 outs against the Shoe Thieves in the top of the 6th inning. Joe Voorhees up to the bat now for the show. Are you kidding me? Another solo home run in this game, this time from Joe Voorhees. Of course, formerly from the Canada Moist Talkers. And the Shoe Thieves now in the lead for the first time in this game. In the top of the 6th inning, Esme Ramsey facing a count of 1-1. 1-2 after another strike from Oscar Vaughn. 2 outs on the board against the Charleston Shoe Thieves. A foul ball keeps the count at 1-2. And Esme Ramsey hits a single. The Mints really trying to close out this inning and get some points on the board to reestablish their lead. Blood Hamburger up to bat again for the Shoe Thieves. 2 outs, 1 runner on base, and a strike brings the count to 0-1. 0-2 now here in the top of the 6th inning from Blood Hamburger. Blood Hamburger strikes out looking. Oscar Vaughn notches another strikeout in this game, and we move into the bottom of the 6th. Kansas City Breath Mints up to bat. Trying to reestablish their lead, rather. Boyfriend Montreal steps up to the plate for the Breath Mints. Fan favorite Boyfriend Montreal. An impeccable base runner. Not the strongest hitter, but, as long as they can get on base, that's all that matters. In an effort to do that, they are now facing a count of 1-2 after a ball, a strike, and a foul ball. Off of Gunther O'Brien on the mound for the Charleston Shoe Thieves. Even count now after another ball, as Boyfriend Montreal looks to get on base. A full count now for Boyfriend Montreal. Folks, what you don't want to do is walk Boyfriend Montreal, because they can steal their way all the way to home, just like they steal their way into our hearts on a daily basis, and the Charleston Shoe Thieves have made that mistake. Boyfriend Montreal on base alert. Everyone, keep an eye on Boyfriend. They are inscrutable. Marquez Clark hits a single, and the Mints now have a runner in scoring position, and that runner is Boyfriend Montreal. Hewitt Best up with no outs on the board against the Breath Mints, and a count of 1-0. Best reaches on a fielder's choice. Ooh, Boyfriend Montreal out at third base. Still 2 runners on base, but now 1 out against the Kansas City Breath Mints. Dickerson Morse up to bat for the Breath Mints. Dickerson Morse, a powerful hitter over the last few games, but reaches on a fielder's choice, and Marquez Clark is out at third base. And the runners remain in place here for the Breath Mints. 1 on first and 1 on second. Stu Briggs up to bat now, facing 2 outs for the Kansas City Breath Mints, and a count of 0-1 in the bottom of the 6th, as they look to reestablish their lead over the Charleston Shoe Thieves, who currently lead 7-6. Stu Briggs faces a count of 0-2 and strikes out looking. Not what the Kansas City Breath Mints fans want to see, as the Shoe Thieves lead by 1 run in the top of the 7th. Shoe Thieves up to bat now. Hotbox Sato leading off for the Shoe Thieves here in the top of the 7th. Another strike from Oscar Vaughn brings the count to 0-1, but a ball brings us to an even count of 1-1, as Hotbox Sato looks to get on base here for the Shoe Thieves. A strike, however, brings that count to 1-2, and we'll see if we get another Oscar Vaughn strikeout. Even count now after another ball, and we're at 2-2, but Sato hits a ground out to Boyfriend Montreal, who collects easily, and the Shoe Thieves are looking at 1 out, no runners on base, a 7-6 run lead in the top of the 7th inning. Ren Hunter up to bat now, hits a foul ball out into the stands, and the count is 0-1. 0-2 after another foul ball. Boy, they sure are hitting this ball, folks. And there you go. Now they managed to hit it in, and they hit a triple. A runner now on third base in scoring position for the Charleston Shoe Thieves. 1 out as Velasquez Alstott steps up to the plate in the top of the 7th inning. A foul ball brings the count to 0-1. Ren Hunter scores on the sacrifice, and the Shoe Thieves extend their lead to 8-6 over the Breath Mints. Antonio Wallace up to bat for the Shoe Thieves. Again, really remarkable how Oscar Vaughn is either throwing strikes or just big hits. I don't really know what to make of it. I'm not a baseball statistician. I'm just your humble Baseball Radio 2 commentator. Gray Alvarado leading off for the Breath Mints now in the bottom of the 7th inning as they try to make up this 2-run deficit. Alvarado hits a flyout to Sebastian Woodman, and the Mints are looking at 1 out, no runners on base, and a 2-run deficit at the bottom of the 7th. Rodnett booting up here as they step up to the plate and swing at a fast pitch from Gunther O'Brien, leaving the count at 1-1 after a ball. Internet hits a double, and Internet's in scoring position with 1 out on the board for the Kansas City Breathmints. Elizabeth Guerra up to bat now for the Breathmints here in the bottom of the 7th, a runner in scoring position. A ball brings the count to 1-0. This is an extraordinary game of baseball, and I'm so happy you are all joining me here on Baseball Radio 2 to take it in. A foul ball brings the count to 1-1, and a ball brings the count to 2-1. Guerra struggled with vibes all season after a really, really strong third season, but manages to draw a walk here, and the Mints once again have 2 runners on base, hopefully not running into as many fielders' choices as in the last inning as Lenny Spruce steps up to the plate and swings at a fastball from Gunther O'Brien, who can really throw those things with his beak. It's really surprising, but hey, what are you going to do? Penguins pitching baseball, no rules against it. Lenny Spruce facing a count of 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Even count of 2-2. And reaches on a fielder's choice again. The Mints, who have really extraordinary base running into a lot of fielder's choices, and running into 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th as boyfriend Monreal steps up to the plate for the Breathmints. Monreal hits a triple, 2-runner score, and we have a tie game, folks, here in the bottom of the 7th. And we have boyfriend Monreal in third base, which is not something that you want to see if you are a Charleston Shoe Thieves fan, because the next thing you might see is boyfriend Monreal stealing home. Marquez Clark up to bat now with an even count of 1-1 after a ball and a foul. Another ball brings the count to 2-1. That is indeed our boyfriend. And that is indeed a strike, bringing the count to 2-2 against Marquez Clark as they try to bring boyfriend Monreal home. A full count now. Who wouldn't want to bring boyfriend Monreal home to meet your parents? I certainly wouldn't not want that. But Marquez Clark draws a walk, and Hewitt Best steps up to the plate for the Kansas City Breathmints here, who are rallying in the bottom of the 7th inning. A ball brings the count to 1-0. Boyfriend on third, Marquez Clark on first, Hewitt Best at home. A single will do here, really. I mean, we know boyfriend Monreal's extraordinary base running abilities. They don't need much. Seems like we might be getting some planar interference here. Some other games seem like they might be wrapping up, which always does cause some planar interference with the game log. Either that or Gunther O'Brien is just taking a long time to make this pitch. An interesting baseball rules fact is there's actually no rule against taking as long as you want to make a pitch. That's why we've seen some pitchers take 12 hours sometimes. Sometimes pitchers decide to have a siesta in the middle of their stint on the mound. No idea what happened. Hewitt Best draws a walk, and we've got bases loaded. Stu Troll hits a single, apparently. We switched innings. We're in the top of the 8th. Sorry, folks. It's a little hard to keep abreast of everything. Either way, the Breathmints managed to rack up 2 more runs, apparently, and are leading 10-8. Sebastian Woodman now batting for the Charleston Shoe Thieves with a runner on base and a count of 0-1. We apologize for not being able to bring you those exciting developments in the bottom of the 7th, but we've got plenty of exciting developments here as someone is caught stealing base, and Sebastian Woodman hits a solo home run. Golly, folks, this is just an incredible game of baseball. I hope that you're all enjoying it as much as possible, despite obviously it taxing all of our nerves as Kansas City Breathmints fans. We're having a little more delays as some other games have wrapped up here. The Moist Talkers winning and the Stakes winning. The Stakes, of course, one of the closest competitors for the Kansas City Breathmints here in the quest for postseason baseball. Apparently, we've resumed. Esme Ramsey up to bat, a count of 3-1, full count now, 2 outs, no runners on base for the Charleston Shoe Thieves, and a ground out to Marquez Clark brings us into the bottom of the 8th. You know what that means, folks. You know what that means for Kansas City baseball. You know what that means for the Breathmints. It means they're coming alive. Gray Alvarado going to try to line up those paddles here on the chest of the Kansas City Breathmints baseball team, give us a clear, and give us some kind of hit, facing an even count of 1-1 here after a ball and a strike in the bottom of the 8th inning. Hitting a ground out, however, to Stu Troll, and the Mints now looking at 1 out, a 1-run lead, 10-9 over the Charleston Shoe Thieves, and Rodnett up to bat now. Rodriguez Internet facing a count of 1-0 after a ball, 2-0 after another one from Gunther O'Brien. 1 out, no runners on base, and a count of 2-1 after a foul ball out into the stands. A swinging strike brings the count to 2-2. And another ball leaves us at full count. We've had a number of full counts here so far in this game. Rodnett, however, managing to capitalize and draw a walk. Getting on base here for the Kansas City Breath Mints. Isabeth Guerra up to bat to try to bring Rodnett home. Reaches on a fielder's choice, however, and Rodnett is out at second base. That's 2 outs on the board against the Kansas City Breath Mints in the bottom of the 8th inning, leading 10-9 over the Charleston Shoe Thieves. Lenny Spruce up to bat for the Mints. Isabeth Guerra on base for the Mints. An even count of 1-1 for Lenny Spruce. 1-2 after a swinging strike. And hits a single. We now have what I like to call the magic alignment, runners on first and third, and Boyfriend Montreal up to bat for the Kansas City Breath Mints. Boyfriend stepping up to the plate to try to bring their boyfriend teammates home. 2 outs now in the bottom of the 8th. Another game has ended, so we're going to get some more planar interference. Apologies if we jump straight into the top of the 9th. We'll see what happened, at least in terms of runs, over here on the left side of your screen on the score ticker. But it seems like we may miss Boyfriend's at bat, which is, again, an unfortunate side effect of this planar interference and of the other games ending. But no, it seems like they're still at bat. We've got a count of 0-1 after a foul ball. The game log struggling here as the Magic finish their game with a win. Montreal hits a flyout to Esme Ramsey, and we move into the top of the 9th inning. The Mints holding on to a narrow lead over the Shoe Thieves, who trail 9-10. The Magic winning means that both the Magic and the Dallas Stakes have won, putting some pressure on the Mints to keep up their winning streak. As their closest competitors, some more interference is leading to some more delays here with the game log, so apologies for that, folks. A great time to remind you that Season 4 of Internet League Baseball is brought to you by Friends at the Table, an actual play podcast focused on critical world building, smart characterization, and fun interaction between friends. Find them at twitter.com/friends_table. Oh, and the game is over. Well, I guess that was an uneventful 9th inning, but a very eventful previous 8 innings, and the Breath Mints managing to walk away with this win. How many home runs did we have this game, folks? It must have been 5, maybe 6. The Breath Mints winning 10-9 against the Charleston Shoe Thieves. You can see here that I obviously max bet on the Breath Mints, as I have been wont to do over the past few games. Let's take a look around the league at the games that are still continuing. Let's make sure that you can see them all as I scroll here a little bit. I had to retool my stream setup, so here we've got to look at the Firefighters, who are leading the Flowers. The 44-22 Firefighters leading their inverse, 22-44 Flowers, 7-6 in the top of the 9th inning. We've got the Crabs trailing the Dale, the Miami Dale, one of the teams that has struggled somewhat, but has a decent win-loss record of 31-35 against the Crabs, who are 42-24. The Crabs, a surprisingly strong team this season, I would say. But trailing here in the top of the 9th, and those are the 2 games that are going on. Let's see if I can get them both on the screen here as we wait for those to wrap up so we can take a look at the standings around the league. I may need to adjust some things in OBS, which might be tricky here on the fly, but I'll see what I can do. There we go. And there we go. Now we've got both games here on the screen at once. I'll try to keep an eye on, do some practice commentary here. Let's see. I think that this Firefighters game is a little more interesting. The Flowers up to bat, trying to tie things up in the bottom of the 7th, maybe even shame the Firefighters. They've got 1 out on the board, Jacob Haynes up to bat, and 1 runner on base. So, not inconceivable that they could shame the Firefighters. Would be a rare event, though. I don't know how many times the Firefighters have been shamed this season. Of course, been extremely strong all season after a number of blessings in the last election. The Crabs also rallying in the top of the 9th, but don't manage to close it out. And the Crabs notching another loss. The Flowers, however, facing 2 outs, 1 runner on base, 2 strikes, not looking great for Beck Whitney at the plate against Justice Spoon, and they also lose. All right, let's take a look around the league here at our standings. And I'll adjust my OBS accordingly so that we can see all of those standings. Let's get rid of these other scores, and let's stretch out this like this, so. Oop. Apologies for the technical difficulties, folks. I am not good at OBS. You know, this shouldn't be this difficult, but that's okay. We'll just look at there we go. Okay, phew. That was a struggle. All right. Let me scroll down here until we've got these standings up on the screen. Okay, taking a look around the league here. After day 67 of Season 4 of Internet League Baseball, you can see we've got the Chicago Firefighters leading the Lawful Good division with a record of 45-22. The New York Millennials and Chaotic Good with an identical record of 45-22. A reminder that, of course, postseason baseball is determined by the top 4 good teams and the top 4 evil teams. So in the Lawful Good division, our top 4 teams are the Firefighters and the Millennials, who are both tied with even records. The Kansas City Breathmints in third, 38-29, maintaining a 4-win lead over the Dallas Stakes and the Charleston and the Yellowstone Magic, who are both 34 and 33. The Charleston Shoe Thieves still very much with a shout, with a chance at postseason baseball. Not that far, one win behind the Yellowstone Magic and the Dallas Stakes, but facing against the Kansas City Breathmints, which is a pretty good team, if I do say so myself. Over here in the Lawful Evil division, we have the Hades Tigers, unsurprisingly, with a pretty decisive lead in the league, with a record of 46-21. 4 wins behind them, we've got the Baltimore Crabs. 2 wins behind them, we've got the Breckenridge Jazz Hands. And we've got the Philly Pies and the Canada Moist Talkers battling it out for that 4th place slot. The Miami Dale also in there with a look. And the Seattle Garages. Pretty even here in Chaotic Evil. And so it should be a very interesting run for the playoffs. Either way, we'll be back probably tomorrow evening to take a look at the Kansas City Breathmints. We'll see where they stand at that point. Hopefully aiming towards postseason baseball. This has been Baseball Radio 2. I am your host, Baseball Radio 2 host, reminding you to support Friends at the Table, the sponsor of Season 4 Internet League Baseball. Again, you can find them at twitter.com/friends_table. The commissioner's doing a great job. We are all participating in the cultural event of baseball, and I look forward to seeing you here again on Baseball Radio 2. Take care out there. Black Lives Matter.